What's going on, everybody? The open beta for Black Ops 6 is here, and to save you the trouble of finding all the best class setups, I got the top 3 for you right here. There are 2 new weapons that they're adding for this weekend, including a brand new SMG and a marksman rifle. So as we level those up and find out how good they are, I'll update my channel with their meta loadout, so stay tuned and subscribe for that. In the meantime, especially to those of you that are newer to the Black Ops 6 beta, each of these classes will have a low level and a high level version so that you know what to use as you're leveling up. Starting with number 1 is the C9. Even before Treyarch touched the PDW, the C9 technically had the fastest time to kill of any of the SMGs. And according to Exclusive Ace, who went in depth on the TTK, the new SMG is slower than both the C9 and the Jackal PDW. So I'm confident that the C9 will remain at number 1 in my eyes. Starting here with the low level C9 build, we're going to go with the vertical foregrip for that underbarrel. The most important part of the C9 is the horizontal recoil control is not very good. So make sure you rock that underbarrel or anything that helps with horizontal recoil control. Up next, for the barrel, you want to choose the first one or the second one, whichever one you get first for bullet velocity or damage range. Going over here to the muzzles, you'll start with the suppressor, but you don't unlock it until way later than you think. So we're actually going to go to the flipped mag or any one of the magazines that you get at first. Here to the rear grip, we're choosing the quick draw grip for that aim down sight speed, which this gun does need a lot of help with. And then the very last attachment is going to be the stock, which you get pretty early on, the no stock, which helps you perform well with this gun when you're up close and personal. Here is the low level C9 class. We're going to go into the higher level C9 class that you're going to be looking for as you level up the attachments. Speaking of which, the attachment leveling should be a lot faster this weekend compared to the previous one. So if this is a gun that you tried to level up on the first weekend but couldn't stay away from the PDW, try again this weekend and let me know what you think. Starting with the muzzle, we're going to go with a ported compensator for vertical recoil control and first shot recoil control. This is a huge bonus for those first shots with the C9, as that's where you're going to be hitting most of your shots. Now we're going to scroll down to the reinforced barrel. This helps with damage range and bullet velocity. It's the best of both worlds when it comes to the SMG, and this SMG needs help with both. So I'd use that as it makes it a much more well-rounded SMG. Over here to the foregrip, we're going to choose the Ranger foregrip because it helps with horizontal recoil control, sprinting movement speed, and movement speed. This is all around the best underbarrel because it helps you move faster and it helps you with that horizontal recoil control, which I said this gun needs the most help with. So definitely choose the Ranger foregrip when working on the underbarrels. Before you get to that point, I would honestly stay with a vertical foregrip simply because it helps with that horizontal recoil the most. Now, here's where things get a little bit weird. I like the fast mag too because it helps you speed up even more and helps with your reload quickness. However, your magazine size does go all the way down to 25, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to use, and you have to make sure you hit all your shots, and you can't be challenging into rooms that have like 3 or 4 people because you might not have enough bullets to take out that many people. If this is not your playstyle, if you don't mind your gun being a little bit slower, you can definitely choose the extended mag or go without a magazine at all. In that case, you could add an extra stock or a laser or a fire mod or something like that, but in my case, we're going with the fast mag too. And the last attachment for the rear grip is actually going to be the ergonomic grip. The reason that I'm choosing this one over the CQB is because I feel like the C9 needs the most help with ADS speed rather than sprint to fire speed. Sprint to fire speed already seems pretty quick on this gun. However, aiming down sights is a little bit slower. So the ergonomic grip, as we see here, helps with ADS speed, slide to fire, and dive to fire speed. So everything that Black Ops 6 is going for in terms of omni movement and movement in general, this grip is one of the best ones that helps out with it. And this right here is your higher level C9 class. This is my favorite class in the game so far, and one that you're going to want to try out in the second weekend of the Black Ops 6 beta. And now with class number 1 out of the way, we're going to go to class number 2, which is the Ames 85. This ended up being my favorite of the ARs, even though it technically has one of the slower TTKs. Just the overall feel of the weapon, how it shoots, how it moves, and even including rapid fire seems to help this gun out a ton. We're going to go over the 2 classes I was talking about earlier with the low level and the high level aims. Now, one of the most important parts with all of the ARs is that the iron sights aren't that great. So going over here to the optic, what we're going to do is scroll down to the Acu Spot Reflex. If I remember correctly, you do have to level up the AK-74 in order to get this reflex in the first place. However, it makes it totally worth it. It's the closest one that we have to a true red dot. It almost reminds me of the Krig from Black Ops Cold War. However, you can use pretty much any optic that you want to other than this until you get that AK-74 leveled up. Again, this is the low level class, so we're going to be choosing the low level attachments. No muzzle so far, maybe a suppressor because you get it first, but it took so long on the first weekend to level up that I stayed without a muzzle for a decent amount of time. However, with the barrel, you want to choose the long barrel for that increase in damage range. maybe the bullet velocity if you get there too, but since it's an AR, the bullet velocity is usually pretty good in the first place, so I'd stick with that first barrel. Up next for the underbarrel, we're going to choose the vertical foregrip for help with horizontal recoil control. This helps it beam long range because it's not bouncing from left to right. You can keep your aim very steady and shoot all the way across the map. So horizontal recoil control is what you want for pretty much all of your classes. Up next to the underbarrel, we're going to choose the vertical foregrip for even more help with that horizontal recoil control, as we were just talking about. Now the rear grip, we'll choose the assault grip because that's the first one that you get, and it's very, very helpful when you get caught sprinting, as it helps with your sprint to fire speed. And the very last attachment that we'll choose is simply the heavy stock for help with flinch resistance. This makes it so that mid gunfight, your gun won't be bouncing around as much, and you're much more likely to hit your shots down range if somebody else is shooting at you. So again, this is the low level Ames 85 class. We're gonna scrap all of these attachments, and then we'll start talking about the high level Ames 85 class. Going to the AccuSpot reflex, the one that I was talking about earlier for leveling up the AK-74, we're gonna choose the muzzle brake for that kick reset speed and first shot recoil control, a super helpful attachment for shooting long range, which you'll be doing a lot with this class. And now for the barrel, we're going to choose the reinforced barrel as it helps with both damage range and bullet velocity. All across the board, this is the best barrel as it helps with everything. And for a gun that will be using close range, mid range, and long range, this is going to be your best barrel and the best bang for your buck. Now over here to the underbarrel, when I was recording this video that we're watching over, I didn't have the Ranger foregrip unlocked. I do now, and it's my go-to for the Ames 85. So use this one. The reason why, same reason for the C9, it helps with the horizontal recoil control, as well as making you faster across the map while you're sprinting and just moving in general. So all around, this is one of the best attachments that you can choose. Go with the Ranger foregrip. And then my last attachment for the high level Ames 85 class is going to be extended mag. This bumps up your magazine size to 45, and its only negative is that it makes you reload slower. When you're in those longer range gunfights, you're going to need additional bullets, as well as if you're trying to take out multiple enemies at the same time. So all in all, this is my go-to high level Ames 85 class, swapping out that underbarrel, of course, for the Ranger foregrip like we talked about earlier. This class will change as we get access to the Gunfighter wildcard. However, for those of you that are just starting out on the beta, we don't get that wildcard until level 26 in the upcoming beta weekend. So start with this class for now. This is what you should be working towards if you're an AR player. Stay tuned on this channel for updates as to what that class looks like when we're able to put more attachments on it. I imagine we're going to be adding rapid fire, we're going to be adding stocks, rear grips, all of the above. And for class number 3 is the Jackal PDW. Definitely overpowered on the first weekend, but toned down this time around. It's still a good go-to option for the SMG category. And especially as a starter build for somebody that's just starting out on the beta, this low-level class is pretty much going to be your go-to. We're going to start with the muzzle. One of the first ones that you unlock is the suppressor. Just stay off the mini-map and allow you to get more kills before people can turn around and find where you are. Again, this is the low-level build, so keep that in mind as we go through these attachments. Up next, for the barrel, we're going to choose the first one that we get, the gain twist barrel for that bullet velocity. This is an SMG, so it does need help in the bullet velocity category, so definitely choose that as your first barrel. Over here to the underbarrel, we're going to go with the vertical foregrip for help with the horizontal recoil control. This gun does bounce a little bit, so the more help you can get with that, the better. And we're also going with the extended mag for the magazine to increase that magazine ammo capacity. You're going to be playing pubs, you're going to be running into like 6+ people in close quarters. You want as many bullets as possible before you can get out of there. And that's why I like the extended mag 1 on this one. Also, you get it early, so this helps with a low level build. The rear grip, the very last attachment, we're going to use the assault grip to help with that sprint to fire speed. You're going to be running, you're going to be moving with this class. You want to be gun up as fast as possible, and you want to be caught off guard less often. So the assault grip is definitely going to help with that. This is your low level Jackal PDW class. We're going to scrap all these attachments, and we'll talk again about the high level Jackal PDW class that you'll be working towards at the end of leveling up the weapon. You can use the suppressor again, like I prefer to do, or you can go to the muzzle brake or something that will help you shoot straighter long range. I still, even with my high level PDW class, like the suppressor just because I'm pub stomping and I want to stay off the minimap. So I still choose that option even at the higher level. Over here to the barrel, this is where things will change. You won't be surprised. We're using the reinforced barrel that helps with the damage range and the bullet velocity. This is pretty much a go-to with all of the guns. And the second that you unlock this reinforced barrel, you want to throw it on pretty much any weapon that you're going to be using in the Black Ops 6 beta. Up next for the underbarrel, we're going to choose the Ranger foregrip. This is the one that helps with that horizontal recoil and sprinting movement speed and movement speed. You want to be moving as fast as possible, and you want to help with your horizontal recoil. You've seen this time and time again with the C9 and with the Ames, and now we're here with the Jackal PDW using the same foregrip. Very good across the board and helps you with pretty much all the things that you need help with in Black Ops 6. Over here to the magazine, we're actually still choosing extended mag 1. You can go to the slower one if you don't mind the cons of movement speed and sprint to fire speed being slower. I still like extended mag 1 because it keeps you with 40 rounds but doesn't slow you down at all. And then the last attachment that we're going with is actually rapid fire. Another good option could be the CQB grip to help with the sprint to fire, slide slide to fire, and dive to fire, or the ergonomic grip to help with the ADS speed, slide to fire, and dive to fire speeds. For my personal preference, what I like to use while pub stomping is this class right here with rapid fire and no rear grip. Again, like we were talking about earlier, the gunfighter wildcard will be available, so you could stack this weapon up with even more attachments if you wanted to. However, since I like perk greed, this is the loadout that I typically run, and the rest of the classes here and stays true across the board on all of my classes. So in terms of perks, tacticals, lethals, and equipment, this is what I'm running. Of course, the pistol and the knife. For tactical, we're rocking the stim shot to keep in the fight even more. And for the lethal, we're rocking the Simtex. For the field upgrade, I use the acoustic AMP to hear footsteps louder. However, once you unlock the sleeper agent field upgrade at level 23, you're going to want to swap to that. Essentially what it does is make you look like you're on the opponent's team. Super overpowered. Use it while you can. The reason that I put Ghost in perk 1 instead of perk Greed is because I'm not super amped about getting any of the enforcer perks for that perk 1. So I save my perk 2 and perk 3 for dexterity, double time, and then my perk Greed is Gung Ho. The reason that I do this is if I had my camera here, if you get 3 of the red perks, you're able to unlock the enforcer specialty, which allows a temporary buff to movement speed and health regen rate after you get a kill. You can see the benefits of the other 2 on screen right now, but I like the movement speed of dexterity, double time, and even Gung Ho for being able to reload while attack sprinting, so that's what I go for on my perks for now. And those are my top 3 loadouts for the Black Ops 6 beta. Stay tuned as we unlock new weapons, new perks, and new wild cards. I will continuously update this channel with tips and tricks, classes, and movement guides, so stay tuned for those. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time at lunchtime.